what's up everybody? Welcome back to another reaction. Today we have Looking Glass Luminescence from Azali. This is just another song that was thrown in by Crosslancer in my executive producer queue, and I know nothing about this one. There was no context of if it's from a game or not, or if it's just a song from an album, so I'm just gonna assume it's a standalone thing. And he did say there was like a translation of something in the top comment, so I'm assuming there's probably gonna be some sort of like an ARG thing going on with this maybe, but that's really all the detail I've got, so I guess without further ado, let's go! Ooh. Okay. Maybe a mild epilepsy warning going forward. This looks like it might get a little funky. Oh, okay, the dominoes. All right, now I see what that was. I don't know what it says. But yeah, this has some definite ARG vibes tied into it. I can't really place a finger on what genre this would be. I don't think I've heard enough to be able to tell yet. More dominoes. Ooh. Very jazzy right there. I mean, this melody in general, if you want to call it that, is already very unique. I'm still trying to figure out what the genre is. It's interesting having this like kind of fight between the forward sounds and the reverse sounds. A lot of clashing going on. Ooh. Minor shift. This feels like it might be new age. Maybe that's what it is. Because it's kind of loose in its sensibility. I'm not getting any clear genre from it. That was a lot of dominoes. But it's very experimental. That's usually what I think of when I think of new age as a genre. It's just somebody kind of messing around and more making an abstract art piece. It's definitely more what this felt like, for sure. All right, so I looked down in the comments just to see what the domino thing was, and yeah, the second highest comment says all three of them in order, and these are not a joke, and you'll see why in a second. I am scared and cannot see. Where is the light that used to be? The Fitness Gram Pacer test is a multi-stage aerobic capacity test that progressively gets more difficult as it continues. And, okay, memeing a little bit, but more from the artist, not necessarily the person putting this in here, because apparently that's exactly what it says. And you know what? You gotta love somebody goofing around a little bit in their own art. So that gives me a little bit of insight on the person who made this song, but I don't think that changes my general perception of this as a piece. I think this is still new age. That makes the most sense to me. This basically just is a modern audio version of contemporary arts. It's experimental. It's something that's a little bit against the grain, has a lot of things that wouldn't normally be done in a traditional song, and just playing around with some varying elements throughout. Because, like, sure, you could tell that there was definitely a melody going through this, but with all the stuff being thrown in, all of these sound design elements kind of breaking things up, a lot of texture in there, you can't really make heads or tails of what the actual melody is going to be at any given time. It basically just kind of relies on what sounds like somebody doing random shit on a piano, but in itself, that's kind of the vibe you're going for, especially when you're trying to counteract it with all of this reverse audio sound design stuff too. You're trying to make a statement of some sort. I could not tell you what the hell that is, because especially after reading what the dominoes translate to, at first you're taking it seriously and you're like, oh, this is supposed to be like a reflection of life and humanity, the yin and yang, the left and right, you know, the opposites balance each other out aspect. And a lot of the visuals kind of do that as well. A lot of black and white in here, just very monochrome in general, with a lot of chromatic aberration and like waves breaking everything up, but it's still very black and white and still very separated. So you're kind of getting that, well, even though you're trying to blend these things together, they won't. And those first two lines of the dominoes kind of make sense with that. It basically entirely reflects that sensibility, that message. But then the third one might have just been because they couldn't think of anything else, or they wanted to throw in a little bit of a goofy Easter egg, because some artists do like having some fun with their work. Who doesn't want to make somebody laugh? You know, if you're willing to put in the work, that's great, but also, ha, gotcha, made you look, you know, just having some fun with that, which I also respect as artist to artist. That's fun. I've always thrown in little things like that in my old artworks as well. I would put like little screenshots of characters and like way lower the opacity so you could not see them, and like leave those in there and see if anybody else ever noticed. And once in a very while, like a blue moon, somebody would. And I'd be like, oh yeah, you saw it, you know, gold star, congratulations. But the vast majority of the time, nobody ever saw them. And I don't always throw stuff like that in there, but it is fun every once in a while, I can't lie. But aside from the production value, that's about all I can really say about this song. This is kind of just what I think it is, an artistic piece. It's supposed to be a representation of something. It's supposed to tell a story and like mean something. But I can't honestly fully discern what that is aside from what I've already said. There might be a deeper meaning to this, or they just decided that the visuals looked cool and that's what they decided to go with. It could really go either way. Sometimes artists are very focused on one thing and don't care about the rest of it, and sometimes the whole thing matters. Every detail is a very specific little point. Every pixel matters. But for this one, I can't really tell if that's the case, or if they just thought that this visual style looks cool, which it does. I've also seen like Madon using this in some more like the last like 5 years or so, in like the 2020 or so era of his music. He was doing some similar visual stuff and like just messing around with some cool visual aesthetic stuff, but it didn't necessarily mean anything. It was just neat to look at, and maybe that's what's going on here and I'm reading too deep into it. But either way, really well done song. I like the production of it, very balanced all the way through. Nothing felt like it was overpowering anything else, so that's a really good sign there. Makes sense for somebody who has this big of a following to be that good at production. But given the vibes of this song, and given that it also had a little bit of something going on ARG-esque, or at least ARG adjacent, makes me wonder if there isn't a deeper message to other songs they've done, and this might be a part of it. Maybe there's an overarching story going on here, but I'm not going to get that deep into it. I'll call the video here. Thank you all so very much for watching. Thank you, Crosslancer, for putting this into the queue, and if anyone else has any other songs they want me to get to, drop them in the comments below, and I will do my best as always to get to those. Or if you want to guarantee one, just like Crosslancer did, there are tiers on my Patreon and YouTube memberships where you can guarantee a request out of me, no matter how good it is, how bad it is, how ARG it is or not. I don't care. I'll listen to it. That's the point of a guaranteed request. But otherwise, if you just like this video and you want to follow me and support me for more stuff in the future, you know how to do all that, and I will see you all in the next video. Goodbye!